Great. Okay, so we are now live. So welcome to the last of our series for Google Summer of Code and Code4GovTech DMP Summer Interns, hosted by Sugar Labs. And to start off, I wanted to give everybody some notable stats because the students you're going to see today are among a cohort of Sugar Labs mentees who did, some really incredible work, and I want everyone to kind of see the breadth of the work that they did this summer. So I did my best to collect some statistics about the summer. Okay, so I'm just going to share this real quick. Just mocked it up real quick. So this is the notable stats for GSOC 2024 by Sugar Labs. So we had 8 mentors who are listed here. The TCHX84, that's Martin Abente, but that's his, his handle. Anindia, Kundu, Bernie Innocenti, Ibiam, myself, Lionel, Perry, and Martin Abente, and Walter Bender. I want to give a big thanks to everybody who mentored. They were an incredible help to all the students this year, and they put in an incredible amount of work. So this summer, what did we do? We had 11 interns for Google Summer of Code projects. They're all listed here. If you've been watching the other events, you've seen their work. And today we're going to have 5 students present their work for whom you haven't seen any of their final work yet. Here's the other continuation of the list because it didn't fit in one slide. But we didn't just do Google Summer of Code. We simultaneously did Code4GovTech's DMP program this year for the first time ever. And this year we hosted 3 interns who will be presenting today. Sugar on Raspberry Pi by Aayush Raj, Math Games by Vaibhav Sangwan, and Add Real-Time Collaboration to Music Blocks by Ajeet Pratap Singh. So this was exciting. It did, well, it ultimately meant, more work done this summer, which brings me to the next slide. I just did some kind of napkin math, and I believe that we put in approximately 5,500 hours or 5,500 hours. So 5,500 hours between the 14 different interns that we had. If that's not accurate, if we include the work done by the mentors, I believe that we are, well within the 5,500 hours. So I just wanted everyone watching to, kind of get the breadth of the scope that we had this summer. And again, thanks to all the interns, all the mentors for their work this summer. So that's it from me. We're going to start off with Ajeet Pratap Singh showing his work on add real-time collaboration to music blocks. So Ajeet, if you can unmute yourself and get ready then.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, thanks, Devin. So I would like to first of all thank you so much, everyone, and very welcome to all of you. I would like to share my screen and to show you the progress and also the slide I have made. So my screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay. So here we go. The project I was working on was to add real-time collaboration to music blocks, and uh, so in this quick slides, we will be talking about these five things. First would be the introduction. Second would be the project. What was the project and what was the purpose? Third thing would be what we did during this time, and fourth thing would be how we did it, and the fifth thing, the last thing would be the end result and the demo, how the project look like. So I would be starting with introduction. So I, as we already, I mean, this was already presented in some of the previous presentations, so it would be very quick. But still, the project was to add a real-time collaboration to music blocks, so that and the purpose was to make two users, more than two or more than two users collaborate on a music blocks project in real time. And the purpose of this project was to foster collaboration, teamwork, and leading to a richer learning experience. After that, the project was all about the collaboration basically. So till now, we can make cool projects and interactive projects in music blocks. But what if we want to collaborate with our friends who are far away from us? So here was the need of the collaboration project, and we have a collaboration in Turtle Blocks, and so during this time we uh, implemented a real-time collaboration in music blocks. So here comes the important part. What we what are the things that we implemented in real-time collaboration project? So the first thing that we implemented, it was the unique ID creation and assignment. Uh, as we used socket.io library, so it provides an unique ID by itself. So we assigned each user is assigned by that particular ID, and also we for the room ID, as we have to implement a unique room ID as well. So I have implemented a custom mechanism for that, so that it takes a current date and convert it into a unique ID with some random digits in order to create a unique room ID. The second thing we implemented is the it's the very crucial part of the collaboration was basically distribution of the same state of the project. So using the socket .io library, it was possible to distribute the same state of a music blocks project among all the connected peers, irrespective of when they have joined. Even if they have joined late, they will get the current state of current and updated list of the project. Third thing we implemented was the synchronization, obviously, and I've tried to optimize it as much as I can, and though there still need to optimize and to make the synchronization a bit faster, but still it's a lot smooth in its current version itself. And the fourth thing we implemented was the is collaborative cursor. So basically, I will present a demo after the slides, so you can see it well. A collaborative cursor is basically that represents each connected peer. So basically, if I am connected through my computer and Devin is connected through his computer, then I would, in a collaborative environment, we need to know that where other peers are, so that we can collaborate effectively. So it basically tells the position of the all the connected peers. Each mouse represents one particular connected peer. The last thing we implemented was the mechanism to track users and rooms. So this was a functionality that we have to implement to the server side. So I used consolidated basically uh, data type to store all the rooms and all the respective socket IDs in that particular room, and also along with the names of those sockets, of the custom names basically. Uh, And after that comes the part how we did it. So first, for the first thing, for the ID generation, we leverage the mechanism we already have. So we already have the mechanism for the socket.io library for the user ID, and for the room ID, I implemented through a custom mechanism. The second thing, we used rooms feature for the collaboration to share the same state among all the connected peers. So we use the rooms feature of Socket.io library. The third thing was the collab synchronization. So already said, as I already said, so we were using libraries. So it made us it enabled us to synchronize the changes. Yet in future, we may need to see some better options as well. So, but still, it's synchronized pretty well. We will see this in action in the demo part. And the fourth thing is implementing cursor with relative position. So for that, implementing the cursor was possible through the socket, but the positioning part was a bit tricky because we have to basically track the relative position of the project, not the absolute position of the cursor. Though I've implemented, we will see this just after a few minutes. And the server side storage, so as I said, that we have consolidated basically rooms to the server side that stores all the rooms that are getting that are active and that are getting collaborated on, and also with the sockets and the respective name. Now what next? So in this project, the only last thing that is left to implement is to deploy it to the production and to see how it works and to uh, get the feedbacks of the real users. And after the internship period, here are a few things that I have listed down that I will be working on after the this period, official internship period ends. So the thing obviously would be to test with the real users and figuring out the edge cases, what would be the edge case, and to fix them. And second thing would be to implement the custom input box to receive the name. Right now, we use window.prompt to get the name, and in case they don't provide, we give them a unique name. But I mean, for a better optimization, we may need to use a custom input box for the collaboration. Second thing, another thing would be to optimization to the client side and server side both. So that is a very important part. I have to look for other ways as well to minimize the latency as much as possible. So that is the thing that I will be looking forward to work on. And next thing would be to implement edge case to exit a user for the collaboration. Basically, there would be some edge cases where we want to exit a user when they do some another type of activity. For example, they initiate another project. So, and another thing was the chat feature. I proposed it in the original proposal, but for right now, we focused on the collaboration part. But later on, I will discuss it with the mentors and will look forward to implement chat feature and many more things that will come on the way. I will think about them and will look forward to implement them as well. So within a few days, we will have a full-fledged real-time collaboration functionality that will let multiple users make projects and collaborate in real time. Last but not the least, I am very grateful to all the supportive mentors like Walter Bender and Devin Ulibarri and the whole Sugar Labs team for helping me throughout the internship period. Now comes the demo part. So I have recorded a video because I didn't want to waste time just reloading the. Uh, so here is the demo. I will be giving a sort of voiceover so that it's clear. So just after you reload, just when you load the music blocks project, you can see the link in the header, and this is basically the local server that I have. You can see the link in the in the header that you can see the room ID. So basically that is the room ID that I've created, but it will automatically be created when you click on the project. So here is I'm setting my custom name, and in the second client did not set the name, and I will be assigned a unique name automatically. So you can see I'm getting represented by my name, and another client is getting represented by another name. And here is a collaboration link that we will see. The sharer, the initiator will see who can copy this link and send it to their friends and whoever they want to collaborate with. And now we will see how the collaboration will work. So you can see the relative position of the mouse as well. So wherever I am going to the screen, we can see another client can exactly see where the other client is hovering over, and that is very crucial in the collaboration, because without it, uh, it won't be very easy to collaborate on. And now if I delete a block, you can see the project, or the another project reloads, and the project also gets sorry, the block also gets deleted to other side as well. And if I create a block basically, so uh, another blocks will also be created to other side as well. So all the changes basically we had total 6 types of changes will be reflected to the all the clients that were connected uh, to the same socket network. And yeah, you can see these zeros as well. So basically these are just minor rendering issues, uh, not the bugs. And also, here I would like to show you, here will be one more thing, and that is the scrolling part of the uh, of sharing the mouse position. So now I would be share, you will see that how the scrolling, basically how we will tackle the scrolling part. I mean, if a user is scrolled, then how its position will be calculated, and how it will be sent to other clients that are connected to the network. So I'm putting this block to the below it, so that I have to scroll it to reach it. And now you can see on the other side, my mouse is not on the screen, because now my position has been changed, and you can see my mouse there. Though I mean, uh, I'm the only one as a single user who is testing, so you cannot see it in the first instance. But basically, when in a collaborative environment, my position will be changed from the first set of block to another set of block that is below it. And here again, if we disconnect a block, or we connect a block, that these kind of changes are immediately shared. Also, if we change a value of a block, this change also will be shared among all the connected clients. So you can see I have set a trumpet this side, and the trumpet has been set this side as well. So it was all from my side, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Can you share, um, I know in the final stretch, having worked with you, there were some additional obstacles. Can you share a little bit about that and how you overcame them? I think that would be helpful for other people who are interested in, working with Sugar Labs. Or you're muted right now. You need to unmute yourself.
Oh,
There.
sorry. Okay, so actually there were some obstacles, and the first obstacle was to render a project with as minimal latency as possible. So though I have tried to still I have tried to optimize it a lot, but still there are I say there is still a need to optimize it uh, to as much as we can, because basically if let's say if there are 10 users and there are 20 users who are joining it, the more smoother experience we can provide in a collaborative environment, the more better it would be for all the learners, because no one wants to see a project rendering for seconds. So that was the first thing I tackled, and I would be working on this as well after the internship period. And the second thing was to uh, changing the values of a blog. That was a thing that I was stuck upon it, and mentors really helped me that time, because connecting a block, disconnecting a block, moving a block, and deleting a block, these were the things that were very uh, not very easy, but yeah, pretty, they didn't took much time to implement. But the changing the value of a block was a tricky part, because I have to figure out which block value has been changed. And there were some values, for example, media. Someone puts us in music blocks project, someone can put a photo as well. And there was some sort of media, some sort of input that we didn't want to trigger in a collaborative environment. So that was a tricky part. And so that was the second challenge. Third challenge was the very recent one, the scrolling part. So I implemented the scrolling uh, by keeping the things in mind. For example, the absolute position. So basically, if I am here on the screen, you will see the absolute position of my cursor, not the relative position. So that was the tricky part. If a user has scrolled his project, then for me, I will be see his relative position, and I will be see, yeah, he is in the middle of the project, but he is not. He is on another part of the project. So that was a third challenge that I tackled recently, and I took help of mentors, Devin and Walter, and they helped me. And also for the Zoom, I've thought about it, and I have to discuss about it in recent meetings. So for the Zoom challenge as well, we would be working towards it. And the fourth one, in my opinion, uh, was to fourth one would be, I mean, we will see during the deployment. And that was all, I guess. That was the issues that we faced and tackled.
I forgot that I was muted. I was saying that that's a helpful synopsis. Thank you for that. So next we
Okay,
have
thanks.
great Aayush Raj with sugar on Raspberry Pi.
Yeah. Hi, this is Aayush, and let me start sharing my screens. I can present.
Great.
I think I'm visible.
Yeah, we can see
Yeah,
it.
so my great. Yeah, so my project was of implementing sugar on Raspberry Pi. Uh, let's go to the next slide. So I will be covering some very basic things like brief introduction about what sugar is and what the Raspberry Pi is for the viewers that have little idea on that. And I will be sharing some of my project details, what were the requirements that I had to fulfill, and then I will be showing my contributions with the demo. Yeah, that's it. Introduction. So what Sugar Lab? Sugar Lab is a non-profit organization which is basically dedicated to make free and open source software for children. There are more than 200 activities, and also there are multiple ways of consumption. Like there is Linux Shell for the PC, USB Sugar on Stick for USB drives, and then there is Sugar Riser website that you can run on the web. And something was missing, right? It was like Raspberry Pi. It also runs Linux, so it is a great addition. So that was my project of adding Raspberry Pi. So what is Raspberry Pi? Raspberry Pi is basically a single board computer to which you can plug a keyboard, monitor, and mouse. Then there you have your personal computer. It basically runs Linux, and you can attach several peripherals to it via USB or the header pins. These are the header pins. If you can see my hover, These are the header pins where you attach your sensors, basically. So what was my project? My project was to make the Raspberry Pi available on the sugar, the, to make sugar available on Raspberry Pi and utilize all the functions it has to offer. So what was the need of the project? We had to reach the maker community and provide physical building blocks to work with and give a taste of embedded development to the children. I think I'm having some messages.
No, there was some discussion whether or not
Oh,
people could hear you, but we can hear you, and I can assure that the sound is being piped over to YouTube, so you can keep going.
okay, all right, thanks. So we were, so what have we accomplished till now? So I have added sensor libraries to utilize sensors in basically any activity that we develop in the future. And also I've added some sensors to the turtle art activity for now. And I have built a control panel activity to control some basic and some normal configurations of the Raspberry Pi via a GUI, a graphical user interface. And then I have built a camera and a gallery activity to take pictures and view them. And then I've made a simple video of how to set up the Raspberry Pi. So how did I add the sensors to the Raspberry Pi? So basically, if you know, the sensors are basically made to run with the Arduinos and the basic embedded development chips. If you know, there is a basic misconception that Raspberry Pi and Arduino are very similar, but that's actually not true. uh, Raspberry Pi is a very sophisticated device in comparison to Arduino. Arduinos are just like um, let's say less intelligent devices that basically follow a set of codes that you give them. But whereas Raspberry Pi is like a whole computer, if I can say that. It's like a CPU of your computer. You can connect a monitor and you have your computer. So yeah, Raspberry is very different from Arduinos. So these sensors are basically the manufacturers make them to work with Arduinos, but it's they are basically not very compatible with the Raspberry Pi. So to make that happen, we are using the Adafruit Blinka library, which is developed by Adafruit, as its name suggests. Yeah, that's that. And then the sensors library that we have put together. So till now we have like I think it's 10 of the features or sensors, you can say. There are digital input output, PWM basically brightness control. I will show this to you later. Yeah, and then there is delay block and buttons, and there are more sensors. So let me just show you a quick video of some of the sensors that we have made to work with Raspberry Pi. Yeah, so this is the OLED display. You can say it says yo what's up or something. And this is the same thing, but the color is inverted. So this is the OLED display that this is the OLED display. And then there are two more that I have the video of. This is the servo motor. You can run this using this sensor library. Yeah, the servo motors. And then there is this. It's basically a LED with the brightness control. You can see the brightness goes. Actually, never mind. The basically it's the brightness control. You can control the brightness from 0 to 255, where 255 is the highest. So that's that about the sensor libraries. And yeah, this is how you connect the sensors. You basically these are the header pins. You connect the pins of the sensor to the header pins via wire. The Turtle Art activity. I have added a Raspberry Pi plugin, as you can see here. So we have several blocks to basically control the sensors from directly from the Turtle Art activity. Can show you, yeah. So this is the Turtle Art activity. So basically, you can drag and drop the uh, blocks from your block library to basically read and set the GPI open to high, low, or even use a button, etc. I am not going to show that to you right now, but I have these. This is the demo of how it works. Basically, in case of OLED displays, you can just set these and these parameters, and then what you want to display, you can just enter the text here, and when you press the start button, it will just display on your OLED display. And this is the push button. This is the similar basic of when you push the button, it gets the LED gets high. So that's that about the Turtle Art activity. We will be adding a few more blocks that I have missed. Haven't included yet, but there will be further developments to it. Let's move on to the control center. So this is basically the control center where you can change the settings of the Raspberry Pi. You can change the GPU input, GPU output signals of the header pins. You can search for devices, connected devices. You can check your audio and camera, and then there is you can toggle some settings. Let me show that to you as well. This is the control panel. Please don't mind the aspect ratio as I'm using the VNC, so it's a little zoomed in. But yeah, these are the pins. You can just toggle them and turn them on or off, the GPIO pins. Then there is the I2C devices. Currently, I don't have any devices connected, but it should look something like this when there are connected devices. Then there are SPI, camera, and audio settings. Then there is this settings for you to simply toggle the respective settings via the GUI. So let's move on from the control panel to the camera activity. Yeah. So basically, the camera that Raspberry Pi uses are a camera module. These are not exactly the USB camera modules that you USB camera devices that you traditionally use. These are basically connected via the FFC cable, as you can see there. So we need this Pi camera 2 library to utilize the camera. So I have added the let me just pull it up real quick. Yeah. So this is the camera activity, and you can see the drone that I'm building. This is my hand. Forgive the frame rate because I'm using VNC. Yeah. So I've added some features like you can add grid, you can flip the image left or right or upside down. Then there is timer button. You can add this kind of timer. Then you can just click a picture. It will just count down to 1, and then it will take a picture and save it. Then there's the record button. Yeah, the recording has started, and you can see the indicator here. So that's that. So you can take pictures and record videos, etc., etc. So we still have to add some false safe. I mean, the error handling and all is still remaining, I think. So we will be working on that. But let's move on for now. And then there is a gallery activity from which you can view the pictures that you have taken. So this is the gallery activity, and yeah, this is the picture that we took just now. It doesn't display the video as of now because I don't know how really, but I am working on that. So that's that. You have left and right button, and then there is a delete button. Yeah, so lastly, we will be making a Raspberry Pi OS so that we can put our cute little sugar into the Raspberry Pi. And we will be basically packaging all the sensors and all the libraries and all the respective activities that we need into the OS. And then we will have a simple file, image, let's say a flashable image, which you can directly flash onto a micro SD card and then directly plug it into the Raspberry Pi, and you have out of the box sugar installed on the Raspberry Pi OS. Because the current process, it takes like I'll say 10 minutes to install, and there are several steps involved. So this will make the steps super simple and super easy to install, and whatnot. This is the great. This is great. I'm looking forward to it. We are still working with EBM. EBM has helped a lot, and he's a great guy. Yeah. So what else we have to do? Yeah, we have the as I said, the OS is still not ready yet. I'm working with EBM. Yeah, and we have to make the installation as easy as possible, as I said, and then there we also have to implement the neighborhood feature to the camera activity. I'm still figuring out that, and then we will be embedding a inbuilt documentation. Like let's say you press Control W, Control R, or something like a keyboard combination, and documentation pops up for you to quickly see through what you have to do. Because when it comes to embedded development, documentations are very important. So that will be a very crucial addition. And then we have to apply the fix for the browse activity. This is secondary task, but yeah. So that was all, I think. Yeah, that's all. Q. I will stop the sharing now.
Aayush, that was really, really great. I especially enjoyed seeing what you could do with the turtle art integration.
Yeah, it's great. Actually, I too enjoy using that.
Yeah, I think that's really, really special. Ibiam, since you mentored Aayush, and since Aayush mentioned you, do you want to say a few things about his project? Perhaps ask him a question.
Can everybody hear me, just to be sure?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't have any question for him, but it's actually been great working with Aayush so far. He's been having to test. We're currently trying to build an RPI image, and he's been trying to test it. So there's lots of errors, but he's actually been collaborating really awesomely with Oval Elephants. That's Anurag. Yes, Anurag. So it's I'm glad that the work has gone so far, and we're actually looking forward to finishing everything that needs to be done. So it's been great working with them this summer.
Awesome.
Yeah, and also thanks for the best practices and all the guidance that you have provided. It's been awesome.
The pleasure has been mine.
Great. Let's move on to Vaibhav Sangwan with Math Games.
Hello everyone, my name is Vaibhav Sangwan. I will be sharing my screen now. In just a
Great.
second. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So my name is Vaibhav Sangwan. I was selected as an contributor intern for Sugar Labs under the Code4GovTech dedicated mentorship program 2024. So in this presentation, we will be going over, first of all, I will introduce myself, and then we will go over what sugar activities are. Then I would one by one go over each of the sugar activity that I have developed over the summer. We will take a look at the descriptions of each of them, and then I will provide a demonstration. So I'm a final year engineering student at Bharati Vidyapeeth's College of Engineering, which is located in New Delhi, India. I'm proficient in Python, and I have had some game development experience already using Unity 3D, Scratch, and Stencil gaming engines. So let's first discuss what are actually sugar activities. Now, in sugar, you can learn a lot by interacting with various applications. We won't call them applications, as these are the interactive sites where everything happens. So these are called activities. Now, some activities, they are such as this maze activity where you have to cross this pole over to the end, and there are some activities which provide basic functionality such as writing stuff and taking pictures or browsing the internet. Now my task over the summer was to develop 8 mathematical puzzle games. So we will be going over each of these games one by one. I have already presented a demonstration of these games in the midterm presentation, but we will take a look at them once again for a bit. So first of all, we will discuss Tower of Hanoi, in which we have to move the stack of disks from the initially, from the source node to the destination node. The destination node can be either of these two, and we can only move one disk at a time. You cannot put a larger disk on top of smaller disks, so that is the only rule. Next, we will be going over number guessing, which is a you know a guessing game where you have to think of a number and the computer will guess what is the number that you actually thought of. Next, we will have 3 utilities where we are given 3 houses and 3 utilities, and you have to connect every utility to each house. The only restriction being that no two supply lines can cross each other. So we will take a look at how that is solved. Next, we have fractals. So this fascinating pattern on the left side is a fractal. If you keep zooming in on it, you will see a repeating pattern. So there are various fractals involved in this activity, such as this is binary tree fractal, we have plant fractal, we have snowflake, dragon curve, Sierpinski triangle, and a lot more. Next, we have bunny islands. So we will be given 6 pieces of a puzzle, and on each piece there will be a bunny. The bunny will be either colored red or either colored blue. And what you have to do is place all of these tiles on this grid such that two different colored bunnies are never on the same island. So it's a great brain teaser, and I will show you a solution of it in the demonstration. Now, as for the progress, I have already developed Tower of Hanoi, number guessing, 3 utilities, and fractals activity completely. The development on Bunny Islands activity is currently underway, and it will hopefully be done in a day or two. Next, I will be demonstrating every activity one by one. So let's have a look at that. So for Tower of Hanoi activity, we have 7 levels, and the level number signifies the number of disks we will have to move from destination to the source to the destination. So for example, for level 3, we are given 3 disks, and we can move them in such a manner so that we win the level, we cross the level, and we move on to the next level. So yes, there's a resume, restart, and there's a home menu, and we can also look at the help section, and there's all that stuff. After that, we have a number guessing activity. In the number guessing activity, there are actually 2 modes. We will go over them one by one. In the classic mode, the computer has thought of a number and we have to guess it. So we can guess 46, it is colored yellow, so we know that the number that computer thought of is a little bit far from the number that we just guessed. If we click on 23, the color is green, so we know that we are moving closer to the actual number that the computer thought of. If we press on 12, we see that it turns into a lighter green, so we are moving away. In such a fashion, we can actually find out what was the actual number that the computer was thought of, and in this case, it was 90. In the another mode, which is rev mode, you actually think of a number. So let's say I think of a 56. Now I have to press on yes or no whether 56 is present on the screen. In this case, it's not. So I will press no. In this case, it is present. In this case, it is present as well. It's not. And if we keep doing this, the computer will actually guess what the number I actually thought of. So yes, there's also a help section in this game as well. We can take a look at all the modes. And next we will move on to the 3 utilities activity. So for 3 utilities activity, we have 6 levels and we can progress through them one by one. You are given a utility, which in this case is water, and 1 house. So we can just uh, connect the water to every home and we will close the level. We can do so for 3 levels, and then we will have 2 utilities, which is water and electricity. So in this manner, the levels keep getting complex and complex. We can also see the solution for every level. We can see a hint, and that's how we can uh, progress through all the levels. So yes, that's pretty much about 3 utilities. There's also a help section where you can see how to progress through the levels. Next, we will take a look at the fractals activity. So here you're given 2 options, which is one to play and the another one to open help menu. So I will tell you how it works. On the left side, you are given a parametric control where you can change the fractal that you want to simulate, the angle, the thickness, the number of iterations that the fractal performs, and the initial angle. If we press on simulate, it simulates a simple, a star shape. Now, if we increase the depth of this fractal, we will see that it turns into a snowflake-looking pattern. If we keep on increasing that depth, it looks like a snowflake even more. So fractals are just recursive patterns, recursive in nature. If we zoom in on them, we will see the same pattern again and again. Now there are many different fractals in this. Uh, this is a this is the dragon curve. One of my favorite fractals is this plant one. And now, uh, how can one say that this fractal is generated from a recursive pattern? It looks so real. So that's where the beauty of fractals lies. And we can play with all these parameters for all these different fractals. Now we have bunny islands. So as you can see, you are given 6 tiles which you have to place on this grid. How can we move on that? We need to keep in mind that we need to place the tiles in such a manner that the blue bunnies and the red bunnies are never on the same island. So we can place it, I think, here. I'm just showing you one example solution of it. And we can place this here. We can also rotate these and do all sorts of stuff with them. Like we can rotate them. Now, as you can see, these 2 bunnies are on the same island, which is disconnected from the red bunny islands, which are these 2. So in this manner, it is a successful solution, and we can arrive at more than 400 such solutions, and it is a really fun game for kids. So yes, these are 5 activities that I have developed, and now we will take a look at the next activities that still need to be developed that I will be working on. The first one is Mystic Square. You are given a box of which contains 15 number tiles, and you have to arrange these tiles in a numeric order fashion. So 1 comes here, 2 comes here, 3 comes here, 4 comes here, and so on. You can slide these tiles in the empty space, and yes, that's the game. After that, we have scrub tiles, which is a word tile arrangement game. So we are given a collection of words, and you have to arrange them in such a manner that the adjacent words have at least one common character in them. And the task is to generate as big of a chain as possible. So yes, that's that. And yeah, that's it from my side. And that's the work progress.
That's great. That looks like a lot of fun.
Thank you.
I can't wait to be able to try some of these things with my 7-year-old son, who likes all the other activities and games and on the Sugar desktop. So I know that you're.
I'm sure it will work as a great first tester.
Awesome. Yeah. Speaking of which, if someone's interested in using these now, is there a way for them to try them? Is it maybe clone into the activities folder if they're on the Sugar desktop? Is that sufficient?
Yes, that is sufficient. So each of these games is present in a GitHub repository, and you can clone them in the activities folder, and you will be good to go.
Great. Yeah, so now I know what to do to test them out with my son. Ibiam, I know you had some words.
Yeah, to also add to what you just said, Devin, at the end of after he's done developing um the other activities, because we're testing, making improvements, we also plan to upload it to Aslo V4. Aslo V4 is basically an app store where you can get sugar activities. So we also plan to upload it there. So it's readily available for anybody who wants to use them. So you'd not have to clone a repo. All you need to do is go there and click download and open the activity in Sugar, and it will work just fine. And yes, it's been awesome working with Vaibhav too. I like how he thinks and how he approaches problems. And I mean, on the fly, we sometimes while we were working, I know Walter had this idea that he wanted him to explore that was separate from what we had planned, and he did explore it, and it's actually nice in that. So yes, we've been working with everybody I've worked with so far. It's actually been awesome, and we've done quite good work actually to move Sugar software forward in terms of new activities, improvements. So it's been awesome, honestly.
Awesome, thank you. And I know, for those watching this and seeing some of these things for the first time, the games themselves, yes, they're fun. Like my son's going to play them and have a good time. The next, one of the next phases in a journey, learner's journey, is to then take one of those games as inspiration for example, making their own program in something like Turtle Art, which you saw with Raspberry Pi, or Turtle Blocks, which runs on the web, or Music Blocks, which is basically a fork of Turtle Blocks, but with musical components as well. So for example, we have like an abacus project activity that's on the Sugar desktop, but we also have coded versions of that abacus activity that were created within one of the programming languages, music blocks, for example. So all of these things can go through iterations for the learner to to have like a solid framework of, okay, this is how something works, play around with it at that stage, but then later graduate, if you will, into the role of, okay, so now I want to build this myself. So games are more than just games, is what I'm getting at. Okay, I'm looking at the clock. I need to kind of reset the stream real quick. But while I'm doing that, Karan, if you can get ready, because you are up next.
Yeah, sure, I'm ready. Am I audible?
Yeah, hold on just 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So with no further ado, Karan, if you can share your work on Music Blocks version 4, Masonry.
Yeah, sure. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
And is my screen visible?
Yep.
Yeah. So about me, I am Karan Palan, now a sophomore at Manipal, Jaipur. My project name is Masonry Framework Integration, and the primary tech stack is React and TypeScript. So for those ones who don't know what Music Blocks version 4 project is, it is a overhaul of Music Blocks using modern front-end tooling like React and TypeScript. So like when Music Blocks was written, it was basically a fork of turtlebox.js, and there were no front-end tools. It was just like plain vanilla JavaScript. So hence we are rewriting the whole code base. So what is a Masonry framework? It is a graphical blocks manager module which is used to create music block programs, and these blocks can be dragged from the palette and like they can be clicked to perform actions. So by implementing the Masonry feature, users will be able to create different musical patterns. So the major parts of the Masonry framework are the brick, the stack, the palette, and the workspace, right? So this is the data flow diagram for the Masonry framework. As you can see, the brick gets its properties from the config, and then it sends the data to the workspace for creating a brick at XY, and the palette gets the brick ID. And so yeah, you can see the data flow diagram. So all the major blocks in music blocks can be divided into 4 types, which is like the block breaks, data breaks, expression breaks, and the statement breaks. So in block breaks, we have breaks that take in nesting and also execute something like a statement break. It also comes with arguments and no arguments. Then data break serves as input for other types of breaks. Expression break takes in value and returns output. And statement breaks define the actions to be taken. It also comes with no arguments and arguments. Here are the storybook screenshots for all the breaks. So this is a break rendered inside of storybook. And this is the break structure. Since the break is the base for all the other components, hence it was written this way. So the type folder contains the basic types for the breaks. The design 0 contains the components that render inside the playground, the stories that render inside the storybook, and the final classes of the breaks. And the stories folder contains the basic break code and the meta stories. Inside the utils folder, you can find the test file and the path generation file. The index.ts is the export file, and the model.ts is the model file. This is the stack of bricks. It's basically a lot of bricks connected together, and these are the interfaces and classes and the core methods that I have used for creating the stack of bricks. And these are the issues that I faced while creating the brick and the stack. So like alignment and spacing was one of the first issues. Like the brick, when the bricks were connected to form a stack, they were not aligning properly due to some calculation errors. And the connection mechanisms were also kind of difficult to implement because the top, middle, and bottom and how they interacted with each other. And the bounding, like the scaling and resizing of the bricks was also an issue because the bounding boxes did not scale along with the bricks, and the drag and drop functionality, and like so the bricks could snap together with each other. This functionality is still work in progress. And this is the workspace. It is the canvas where you can play with all the bricks and the stack. So the issues that I faced while creating the workspace was like managing the state of the draggable bricks and their interactions within the workspace. And like, so I used the stand, which is like a minimalistic library. And like for the drag and drop functionality, I used the React Aria library, which was like found out last year by Niloy. And this is the demo. These are all the breaks inside the storybook along with their scalings. And this is the stack of bricks and drag and drop functionality inside the playground. So what I'm gonna do this week and after the GSOC period is like add scale up and scale down for the bricks in the workspace. Create a palette component and the config that provides the brick code to the palette, and enable drag and drop using React Aria library. Find edge cases and write test, and integrate the final code from the playground to the Music Blocks 4 project. And like I would like to thank all the mentors, especially Ananya Kundu, Devin and Walter, and the entire Sugar Labs community for your feedbacks and growth. And here is the link to my work. My work can be found in the week 11-12 branch inside the Masonry folder. So thank you. That's all from me.
Great. Anindya, can you share some, words, or if you have questions for Karan?
Yeah, sure. I think that looked good. This year, when we started working on this project, well, I experimented with a little bit of a process, because generally what happens is these are big projects, and if when you start with just the code, it's a lot of things, a lot of things you're working on, a lot of things that are in the back of your mind. So it starts to become a cognitive overload. That I feel that when you're building these things, you're thinking of 5 different things, how everything will fit together and all of that. So we kind of flipped the process. We started with gathering the requirements, as in like what we are really going to do, then split out the different pieces. You saw that data flow diagram. So you have sort of these individual independent pieces. They kind of can be developed like separately. So I think that's how we sort of approach this. I think Karan did learn a bit. Although I'd really like to ask Karan, so like, what are your big takeaways from this work?
Yeah, so thank you, Anindya, for all the great mentoring. And like, I really had a growth period this summer. So like, I got to know about the entire software engineering cycle and like how things work in the real world. And I also like understood how important it is to document whatever you do and like plan software in advance. And I hope to complete the project by the end of the summer and a few weeks after the GSOC period, whilst contributing to Sugar Labs.
Yep, that sounds good. Yeah, so Karan has had an extension, a little bit of an extension. Something came up, so he's still going to be working for a little longer, and we hope we can see more of this, and hope all of these comes together. That's all you have for me. Back to you, Devin.
Great, thank you. And one of the other mentors, Martin Abente, wasn't able to join within the Jitsi room, but is watching on YouTube and says that he's watching carefully and everything's looking good. So just wanted to relay that. So next we're going to try Abhijit, who did technically already present, but Abhijit wanted to show some more progress he's had in the last, I think it's been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Let me directly share my screen. Yeah. Okay. So a little introduction about me. So my name is Abhijit Singh and I like music and programming. And our project was musical ideation through LLM. And what we build in GSOC 24 is ABC to music parser, so music block parser basically. So what it basically does is music could be generally notated in standard form as by ABC or Lillipond or MIDI, and to convert this into music blocks, we choose ABC because of it could be extensively compressed, and we don't have a lot of nuances notes in those. While in MIDI we have a lot of nuances notes while we convert into music blocks. So in while working with ABC, we don't have this to face this challenge. So we worked on this, and we have completed the ABC to music block parser. And then what we did is we created a AI widget, which basically uses ABC parser to connect with the LLM. So basically, LLM provides us the ABC music, and then this through this parser, ABC parser, what it does, it converts into music block code. And let's, I think, directly jump into the demo. So let me check, reshare my screen again. Just a sec. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So here is the demo. So basically, this is the ABC song, how it's notated out, and let's drag and drop and see what happens. So here is our ABC song, and once we drag drop, it takes few seconds, like 1 second, to convert into music blocks. It depends on the ABC song. If it's long, it will take some time. But yeah, and it converts into music blocks, and you could hear it. And
Yeah, you want to delete that start block. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So yeah, one thing I
Can
want to show
you
you
do
is
it one more time now that you've deleted that?
Yeah. And that's then it repeats again, and it's repeat again. So here's the format that we have used, and this will definitely help user to convert any song to to music blocks. Basically, you could convert into ABC and then to music blocks, and it will be very easy and less time consuming. Next we worked on is, let me go to new project, and yeah, and then in the widgets we have the AI music, and in this we have a prompt where you could add your prompt, like Devin, do you have any suggestion which music you want to hear?
Well, why don't you try one of those buttons you have there, like dance tune, fiddle
Yeah.
jig?
Yeah, let's take nice melody song. Let's do this, and here we get the ABC song, and it's very fast because it's now in Grok server. So
Yeah, that
you
was
get the
really
response.
fast.
Yeah. And one thing you could do is, let's say you could edit this out. So let's say make it standard notation, let's say 120, and it will be edited. And yeah. Let's pause it. There might be some error. I think this should be 3x4 notes. So yeah, you could need to
Yeah,
check those.
there's certainly some room for improvement, because I see
Yeah.
some bars with just 2 quarter notes, but it's saying that the meter is 6/8. But can you show us how to export this into music
Yeah.
blocks?
Yeah, and now you could easily export this into music blog, just need to click the this button that is basically export button, and it converts it. And here we have this similar thing. Let me minimize it, cancel it, and let's play it. We could stop at this, and yeah, basically I had a lot of fun playing with this. I tried many songs, country music, canon music. I tried jazz. It's opened a lot of space to this user, and it's very much fun. You could play around with these blocks, and yeah, that's what we build in GSOC 24. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for the update. And it's nice to see what it can do given the proper resources. So right now, we're using Grok, which for the time being is doesn't cost anything, but allows us to use the same models that we were using, the Llama 3 model, I guess. And so that's nice for the time being, but we certainly are working towards getting some longer term resources so that anybody using music blocks can have these features available to them. We expect that these will help in a number of different ways, but one of which you can see here is helping with like the blank page problem. You could spend some time creating this melody, and that's certainly a useful use of your time. But let's say you're working on a different kind of project, like a game or something, and you just want some music to go with it, and that's not really your primary focus. It's nice to have this where you can say, okay, this is the battle music or something, and then just have it right there, so you can sketch things out and then go back and refine them later. So we're really excited about this. What was thank you again for like the update. What was one of the things that you learned in just the past 3 weeks?
Yeah, one thing I learned about is Grok things. So I have to learn about this Grok LLM, and I learned the architecture of this Grok and like how they are hosting and so fast they are. Like previously, I was running on my local server, the LLM 3.1, and it was taking, like, if you try, it will take 30 seconds and half a minute, like, and it was too slow. And then I changed into Grok, it was very fast. So I studied about their server and got to know, okay, how they are working. Yeah, that was a great learning. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, it certainly is a valuable thing that all these things we can run locally, but it can be frustrating when you're testing this, especially when it really is a service. Okay, so yeah, thank you everyone. Can everyone real quick like just turn on your video and just wave real quick? I mean, it'd be nice for a like a group photo, if you will. If you're not able to, then that's fine. But try to get as many of us as possible. I know it's nighttime in India where most of everyone is.
Hey, we have lights.
Abhijit, are you able to? Okay, I'm ready. I've got my print screen button here. Yeah, so on the count of 3, DMP. 1, 2, 3, DMP. Sugar Labs. Okay, great. Thank you so much for all your effort and for sharing your work with us this summer, and for sharing, the final fruits of all your work this summer for today, for today's presentation. Thank you for, the blog post. Thank you for your code. And I hope you can keep, involved with the community just as and India has been, throughout these years. He's a really great example of someone who's continued. Yeah, so again, thank you for all your time and effort, and let's stay in touch, and I will stop the stream real quick here. There we go. I got a very strange message from YouTube that said that live streaming is not available now when I tried to stop the stream. So give me 1 second, and now it's making me log back in. So I'm not like totally confident that it's stopped streaming. It says it's still live. It made me log in. Okay, so I'm gonna try one more time. This is how you know it's live, folks. There. That is weird. It was like, you may not stop the stream until you log in one more time.